Hello, teaching world. My name is Sean. I'm a Spanish teacher. I have 12 years of teaching experience. I'm in my 13th year, and I have so much stuff that I want to share with new teachers, veteran teachers, wherever you may find yourself in your teaching career. I hope I have something helpful to offer you. I've taught 5 years in suburbs, and I taught 8 years in inner city, Brooklyn, New York, across the street from the projects. I've had all types of students, and I've learned a lot. I feel like I have so many helpful tips and strategies to share that can make your life as a teacher more enjoyable. So let's start. Let's jump right into it. Number 1, be proactive. Being proactive means you anticipate problems before they even start. And it is difficult if you're a new teacher, if you're a first-year teacher. It's difficult because you don't know necessarily what to expect. Other than your own high school experience, you don't really know what kinds of things students are going to do that may cause problems. Anticipate. Think of what could go wrong. You spend all this time planning a lesson, and it's engaging, you're confident about it, but take the time to think about what could go wrong and how do I address it proactively? How do I put something into my lesson or say something before they start an activity to prevent any kind of nonsense? One for that is assigned seats. Have assigned seats from the first day of school, because that not only helps you learn their names better if you put them alphabetically, it also sets a tone from the first day of school that I'm gonna sit you where I decide to sit you, and I'm organized, and this is the way it's gonna be. That way, later on in the year, when you change your seating chart, there's no questions about it. Hey, what do you mean? From the first day of school, we've had a seating chart. This is the way it works. The smallest little things, like making a seating chart for the first day, can make a huge difference. Next, I want to say, be explicit with what you expect from your class during an activity. If I'm going to give an activity, this is what this activity looks like, and this is what it sounds like. People sitting in their seats, people looking at their partner, making eye contact, raising hands. What do I want to hear? I want to hear respectful language. I want to hear people talking about what's on task. I want people talking about the prompt. So even though those things seem so common knowledge, even if you feel like, yeah, well, duh, students should not be cursing at each other, the simple fact that you explicitly stated and you made it known in words on the projector makes an impact. So nobody can play dumb, and you can refer back to it when someone's got their head down, or they're not participating, or whatever, they're not looking at their partner, or they're on their phone. You can point to it, and there's no way to argue with that. There's no way that a student can be combative when it's specifically written and stated, and you went over it and it's there. They don't have a leg to stand on. That's what I expect to hear. That's what I expect to see. Be explicit. Even if it seems really ridiculous, like I shouldn't have to say, don't curse out your classmates. I shouldn't have to say X, Y, or Z. You need to say it anyway, just to cover your bases. And it is proactive. If they break one of your expectations, there's no backpedaling. You were clear that you weren't supposed to do X, Y, or Z. You are clear that this is what I'm expecting to see, this is what I'm looking for, and what I'm listening for, and you didn't do it. There's no way to argue with that. Now, The next part, this is really, really important, especially in the first couple weeks of school. So you're going to do an activity. I'm talking whether it's note-taking, whether it's taking a quiz, whether it is watching a video, whatever it is. Be explicit before the activity. Then, after the activity, reflect with the class. And I like to put on my projector, I like to put a little like meter, and it's like red, yellow, blue, green. And it says, above and beyond, right on target, needs some work, and then critical condition is red. And after each of the routines that I'm trying to teach in the beginning of the school year, whether it's working with a partner or whatever it is, at the end of that activity, I evaluate the class on how they did meeting the expectations I set. So you're giving them feedback, and that's a chance for you to give them positive feedback, praise them before anyone has done anything to break your expectations or cause problems. Moving on, get on their good side. Classroom management is 1,000,000 times easier when the students like you. When the students see that you are a human being with a sense of humor, that has emotions, that looks them in the eye, that cares. A lot of times in your undergrad education classes, they'll talk about don't smile until the middle of the school year. I think that is absolute baloney. You do not want to go into a room full of teenagers who you don't know and demand respect from them. I feel like that's just asking for someone to challenge you. Before you demand things from them, before you tell them how you want them to do things, you need to be a human being. There is an analogy that there's a piggy bank when it comes to classroom management. You have each student has a piggy bank, and you have, as the teacher, you have to put something in their piggy bank, because when it's time for you to withdraw what's in their piggy bank, in other words, when you're asking them to do something they don't want to do, if you don't have anything in their piggy bank, why the hell would they listen to you? It's no different than if someone tried to lecture you at the grocery store. You'd be like, who are you? Who do you think you are? No, you have to have something invested in these students before you can demand that they give something back to you. And as messed up as some people might find that, some people may have the point of view that as an adult, I deserve respect, and you're a teenager and you need to be respectful. Okay, that's, as much as I might agree with that and wish that were the case, it's just not how teenagers operate these days. You need to give them a reason to want to please you. They need to want your approval. If you're an asshole, if you're rude from day one, if you're a dictator and you're not smiling, you're not trying to get to know them, you're not friendly, you don't have a sense of humor, no one's going to want to do what you ask them to do. They're going to be spiteful, and it just could go bad. It could go really bad. Build relationships, especially when you come across students who you get the impression that they're going to test the limits. You definitely want to get those students on your good side. If you notice a student who's a little more outspoken, a little more daring, wants to push the envelope a little bit, that's who you need to be best friends with. Not literally, but because you shouldn't be friends with your students, but you definitely want to get on their good side, because you know you're going to have to withdraw from that piggy bank at some point.